Hey everyone, this is Tiffany again from Integral Movement in Raleigh, North Carolina. Another little movement session for you. Today's going to be more mat Pilates based, and I've done it so really you don't need any props except for a towel that you fold. I've got a yoga blanket, so if you have yoga blankets, that'd be great. But other than that, we're just using our own body and really doing a lot of focus on slower movements, so slowing everything down and trying to integrate our breath more into our movement practice. So let's get started. Start first just by taking a little lie down on your back with your knees bent. You can have your eyes open or closed at this point and just breathe. And notice how your breath travels in and out of your body. And then we're going to start to add little movements, little pelvic tilts. So here we're going to inhale to tip the pelvis towards your heels, so you arch more in your low back. Exhale to tip the pelvis towards your belly button, so you're flattening your low back. And you inhale to arch. Exhale to flatten. As you continue to do this, notice the movement of your head and neck. So as you tip the pubic bone back, the chin softly lifts. They're both kind of pointed up. As you inhale, arch, the pubic bone reaches away, the chin reaches down. Good, just a couple more. Exhale to flatten into the low back. Inhale to arch. And then we bring it back. Now we're going to do what I call lateral pelvic tilts, and it's going to require your feet. So here I just want you to keep the knees pointed towards the ceiling, push into your left foot just enough so that the left side of the pelvis lifts a little bit, and then relax it down. Push into your right heel, lift the right side of your pelvis, and lower it down. Here I want you to decide what feels better as far as inhaling or exhaling on the movement. My main request is that you're not holding your breath as you do this. Yep. So as I do this, my knees are more trying to kind of push away, and we get these little kind of side to side tilts of the pelvis. One more set. Push into your left foot to tip your pelvis to the right. Bring it back. Push into your right foot to tip your pelvis to the left, and bring it back, and rest. So now we're just kind of woken up the pelvis in all the different planes, which is a really nice way to wake up your lower back. So now we're going to do some supported chest lifts. So come on up carefully. You're going to bring your folded blanket or big bath towel, or if you have just another cotton blankets work pretty well. And I want you to set the blanket up so that the blanket comes kind of mid rib cage, so your shoulder blades melt over the blanket. So part one, we're in a supported back bend, which for some may feel a little cranky, so know that you can always bring your hands behind your head already and support your head a little bit more. But this is going to be your pivot point. Our goal in the chest lifts is not to use our head and neck to lift our ribs, but to focus on the rib cage, to tilt the rib cage over the blanket. So with your hands behind your head, take a nice belly breath in, so let the belly expand, and on your exhale, think about taking your front ribs back to lift your head, neck, and chest up. Notice the shape of my neck doesn't change. And then we inhale, round over, and we exhale. So as the bottom ribs reach in, the top back ribs can lift up. Really syncing it with the breath. A lot of us have stiff mid-backs, so part of having the blanket here is just to get a little bit more compression and circulation of blood to your mid-back. Notice how slow we're going, so trying to find even pacing up and down. And then bring it back and rest. So 6 to 10 of these, you can make a call on that, but really trying to slow it down as you do them. So gently rolling on up. We're just going to put the blanket out of the way. Lying back down, we're going to go into a little bridging. So Pilates bridging, a little bit different than yoga bridging. Set your heels up in line with your sit bones. So about sit bone distance, pelvic distance apart. Heels underneath your knees. With your arms, shoulders relaxed. Notice where your chin is. So not towards the back wall of a room, not cranked into your chest, but kind of neutrally pointing straight up. Maybe just a little bit lower than your forehead. Take a breath in, and on your exhale, push into your heels, tip your pelvis back, roll your spine up. And as you roll your spine up, reach your thigh bones away from your pelvis to support the front of the pelvis. Take a breath in, slowly roll the back upper ribs down, middle, lower. The tailbone and pelvis are the last thing to unfurl. I like to add a little inhale to arch, so we counter. Exhale, tip the sit bones up, reach the sit bones up as you reach the thigh bones away, and then the sit bones realign with the knees. Take a breath up here. Notice that my ribs aren't flaring. So this is too much on the neck. So soften the front ribs so that the ribs funnel into the pelvis when you're at your highest point in your bridge. And then slowly roll it all the way back down. So again, 6 to 10 of these, nice and simple. Then I'm going to give you some options to add a little bit more complexity to the movement. Take a breath in, curl your pelvis up. Remember those lateral pelvic shifts, those lateral pelvic tilts we did earlier on? We're just going to do those now lifted. They're called hip dips. So keep grounding through your left foot. Keep reaching your left knee away. Put less pressure in your right heel. Let the right side of the pelvis dip to the right. And then push into your right heel, lift and level. And then ground through your right heel actively as you lessen the pressure in your left heel to dip the pelvis to the right. The right side of the pelvis should stay where it is. Bring your left side of the pelvis back up to meet your right. Keep the front ribs soft. And we dip to the right and up and left and up. One more time. Right, up. Feel a little booty wake up. Left and up. Take a breath in. Roll your spine all the way down and rest. So if you're feeling a little heat in your booty, just sway your knees side to side. And then on we play. So we've woken the spine up, going both into flexion and extension. Now we're going to wake it up a little bit into lateral flexion. So with your hands behind your head, remembering the chest lift we did just a moment ago, but now we don't have the support, we're going to take a breath in. Exhale, chest lift up. So it doesn't need to be very high. At the highest, you maybe feel the bottom tip of your shoulder blades brushing your mat. Keep your head pushing into your left hand, reach towards your right heel, and then pull your right shoulder towards your right hip to side bend and bring it back to center. My goal here for you is that you keep the pelvis where it is and you're bringing the right side of the side body into the right side of the pelvis. And back. Going for 4. Notice my chin's not cranked in. I'm not trying to hold my head up here, or it's not dropping back. My head and my hand are equally pushing into each other to create some support. Last one on this side. Now you can either take a break, come on down, or switch it right to the other side. Right hand behind your head. Push your head in your hand. So notice softness in the front and the back of the neck. And then we reach for 6 and bring it back. And 5 and back. And 4, back, 3, back, 2, back, and 1, and back, and rest it all the way down. Good, roll your head a little side to side. Good, now we're gonna cross over your midline. So here, I want you to go ahead, cross your left ankle over your right knee. Good. You're going to keep your left hand kind of gently reaching, and then you're going to go ahead. Actually, I lied. Let your left arm rest. Use that as a little counter support. So take a breath in, and on your exhale, think armpit to kneecap, not elbow. So the elbow stays a little bit wide, and we exhale to rotate. Keeping your left arm down just gives you a little extra pivot points. Exhale to rotate. Again, don't pull with the head and the neck. Think of the rib cage coming over. And again, you're going to do about 6 to 10 of these. And exhale. Notice they're not fast. The slower you go, the more your body has time to recruit as many muscles as necessary to support this movement functionally. And bring it back. Uncross the left foot, cross the right ankle over the left knee. Right arm stays heavy, left hand behind the head. So again, think of your right shoulder as almost as a pivot point. And we exhale to rotate. And back. Exhale, rotate. Notice I'm not reaching either my knee or my elbow. Know that a smaller range is not a bad thing. And if you can't breathe or talk while you're doing this, you're probably forcing into a space that is not working for your body today. So back off a little bit if necessary. And rest. Good. And now you're just going to roll on to your side. So side leg series, toes to the front edge of your mat or heels really just in line with the front of the pelvis. Rest your head on your upper inner arm, and then tip your heels up and reach your legs away. Take your top hand, rest it in front of you as a counterbalance, or if you again want to make it more complex, take your hand to your side body, for a little bit more balance. Part of your goal here is not to shorten the side body as we do these leg lifts. So I always start with a little hold, lift and hold. Lift up, reach the leg away, breathe. Imagine you're pressing both of your heels into the wall behind you. And just hold and breathe. Now notice if I lift it up higher, my side body gets into it and that turns into a spine bend rather than a lateral hip lift. So bring the leg back down so the pelvic halves feel stacked and you keep lengthening your waistline. And your waistline is just that space between the bottom of the ribs and the top of the pelvis. And then we go down and we lift up as high as we can without taking it into the side body. 2, usually I do about 10 of these. We're going to do 6 right now. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Keeping the leg now hip height. Point your toes away, keeping the pelvis stacked, stable, steady. Small and slow leg circles. And for anybody who's taken a class with me, you know that slower is definitely the more fun version. And 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, I usually do 10 reversing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Little last fun. Flex the foot again, little pulses up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. To switch sides, you're just going to bend your knees in, push yourself up, flip it around to the other side. Toes or heels just in front of your pelvis. Tip the heels up. So the tipping the heels up is going to activate your bottom outer hip to stabilize help stabilize the pelvis. Reach the heels away and then just start with a lift and a hold. Notice if either your ribs are trying to rock forward or your pelvis is trying to rock back or vice versa. Again, find this image of ribs funneling into pelvis. And then we add our lower lifts. Lower down, lift it up, and lower down, and 2. Good. 3, 4, 5, keep it up. 6, now we point the toes, reach the leg bones away from the hip socket in small, slow circles. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and reversing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, flex the foot again, little pulses for 10, 9, 8, keep the reach through the heel, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. From here, just rolling right onto your belly. So I'm a big fan of belly down time, and as long as I can, I will keep doing it. So starting with mini swan, mini cobra, depending what modality you're in. So we're gonna start first with the head neck lift. Line your fingers up with the shoulder tops. Put a gentle reach of your elbows towards your outer ankle joints. Imagine now, so start maybe with your nose smushed on the floor, and imagine there's a string to the middle back of your head, and you're gonna lift your head just high enough so that your nose maybe hovers 2 or 3 inches away from the mat. So you'll notice that your neck muscles are working, but hopefully not straining. Now put a gentle relaxation or subtle reach of the shoulder tops away from the ears. You're not jamming them down. On your next inhale, breathe into your belly cavity. So feel your belly expand into the floor to support the float of your breastbone up. Notice I'm not leading with the head or the neck. Keep a reach of your leg bones away from your pelvis to help weight the top of your feet down. And breathe here. Give yourself anywhere from 3 to 6 breath cycles. You might notice a little lower lift, but you're trying to keep it as stable as you can. The idea here is we're trying to open up the muscles, the tissue in the back of the rib cage where we have more ability to expand our lungs to support us. And then lower all the way down. A little neck stretch here. Take your left ear down. Relax your arms by your side. Take a breath or two. And then on we play. So going on to our double leg lift, stack your hands one on top of each other, rest your forehead on your hands, and you're just gonna keep your head heavy. Scoot forward so you guys can see my legs a little bit more. Good. Separate your legs so they're about hip width distance apart, and then find your belly again. On your next inhale, reach your legs away. You guys are gonna keep your head heavy and float your legs up. You may feel a very subtle tip of the pelvis. Subtle tip, fine, but if it feels like you're dumping into your low back, back off on the height of the legs. How high your legs lift, less important to me than the integrity of your low spine, your lumbar curve. Keep a reach of your tailbone between your heels. Continually breathe. Don't hold your breath here, things will lock. Yeah? And then gently lower them down. Gorgeous. Unfold the arms. You can rest your arms by your side. Place your right ear or the opposite ear on the ground. Look to the other direction to stretch the neck again. And breathe. Gorgeous. On we play. So, going a little further, reach your arms out wide to the side. So now we're going to lift the arms, the legs, and the chest with the head. Again, not trying to lift using the head and the neck, but using the ribs. Put a reach of your arms and legs away from your torso, and with an inhale, inflate your belly down to float your arms, legs, and chest up. Once again, how high you come, not super important, just that you're working to push up against gravity. Now keep a gentle active reach of your arms away, legs away. Breathe into your belly to find that lift through the breastbone rather than the head, the neck. Hold for, again, 3 to 5 breaths, and then gently lower down. Rest. Good. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Push yourself up to all fours. So knees in line with hips, hands in line with shoulders. Just a little counter cat-cow. We inhale, chest forward, tail up, exhale, round it in, and inhale. Arch, exhale, round, and then come to neutral and just reach it back into a child's pose and give yourself as many breaths here as it feels good. And then gently walk yourself up, and you're done for the day. Have a great one, you guys, and I will see you next time.